Hey guys, Tony here. Hope you're doing well. I have very important and big news to share with you guys. Let's take a look at the market here. Bitcoin currently sitting at $7,951, Ethereum just over $250, XRP over 39 cents. So we have a small healthy correction, a pullback from a 24-hour perspective between 2 to 4%. So still looks bullish, still looks healthy. If you look at the price here of Bitcoin over the past day, we did cross over $8,000 again, which is a good sign. I'm hoping Bitcoin can have that support level of $8,000 and keep going upwards over 8,500, then towards 9,000. But we got to give it some time. We saw, of course, the major recovery after the dump that we had, right? If you look at the charts here, and we went back over 8,000. So definitely looks good. And once again, if you zoom back and look at the 1 month, also at the 3-month chart, definitely looks bullish, right? Look at this run up here. So we are certainly in a bull market, but we got to let the market go further, improve itself, build new support levels. And I'm looking for the slow, steady growth. These parabolic run-ups are fun, but they always result many times in a sharp correction, a sharp pullback, which is not ideal. So I'm hoping for a slow, steady growth, but let's see how things play out. Now, we got some interesting stuff coming from JPMorgan Chase. Now, if you guys, many of you know the story. Jamie Dimon for years has been trashing Bitcoin, saying it has no value, it's garbage, it sucks, you'll lose your money. But they were, of course, secretly building their own crypto in the background, JPM coin, which is a stable coin. And their strategists keep putting out reports on Bitcoin. If it's garbage, if it sucks, if it's trash, why are you wasting your time, money, and resources to study it? Because it's all smoke and mirrors, guys. They've been lying. And I'm telling you, and I will put money on this, they've been accumulating as well. Them, the rest of Wall Street, and the other banks have been accumulating. It's all smoke and mirrors, guys. It's to lie to the people and tell them, no, it's garbage. Don't worry about it. Don't invest in that. Yet they're accumulating, and guess what they're going to eventually do? Sell it back to the masses. And I'm glad we're here early ahead of this and we can see this, guys. And let me give it, the headline here is Bitcoin has soared above intrinsic value during latest rally, JPM strategists claim. Right, yeah, like I would want to believe anything they have to say after they've been trashing it and lying to us and building their own. So the strategists, who reportedly include JPMorgan global market strategist Nicholas, I can't even pronounce his last name. It's a crazy last name. They said that its value, it's above, its price is above the intrinsic value. Okay, whatever. So once again, JP Morgan continues to play the game here, guys, to fool the masses while secretly building and accumulating, and yet they claim it's garbage, but they still report on it. So why are you reporting on garbage? Anyway, Anthony Popliano, many of you know him, part of Morgan Creek Capital, influencer in the crypto market. I like his tweet, so I'm going to share it here with you guys. JP Morgan is now putting out reports about Bitcoin's intrinsic value. Thought it was worthless and had no value, according to Jamie Dimon, right? Never listen to what a bank says. Watch what they do, and I certainly agree with that. I've been talking about it. Watch what the big money, watch what they're doing, right? What are they building? What are they doing? Not so much what they're saying, but what is being built. And we see a lot of money being put into this market. We see banks, even Bank of America. I can't even count the many times I've shared the news with you guys. They've been filing patents for crypto storage and blah, 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 trying to get as many patents. Why would you be doing that if this was a scam, fake money, right? A fad, or some people will call it magic internet money, a Ponzi scheme, because it's in fact a disruptive technology, a paradigm change, a change in money, blockchain technology, the next layer on top of the internet to build trust. That's what this is. This is a movement, guys. This is a change. So they see the writing on the wall, but as they've done historically, they play the game, fool the masses, They say one thing but do something else. Now, SEC has once again delayed the Bitcoin ETF. No surprise, the VanEck SolidX, they released a letter about it, asking for commentary and so forth. And I'm not even holding my breath for an ETF. because it seems the market can go without it. And I believe the reason why they haven't approved an ETF is because of the manipulation in the market. Now, every market has manipulation, but there's a lot of blatant manipulation in the crypto market because it's the wild, wild west. It's very young, right? And they're going to try to weed out a lot of that. We've been talking about that here on this channel where, the big players, Fidelity, TD Ameritrade getting in are not going to let that happen, right? Think about it. The big boys are getting in. They're not going to let these Tether Bitfinex get away with any kind of a shady stuff. So that's why you see the district attorney in New York is going after Tether and Bitfinex, and I believe that's because the big players probably made a phone call and said, "Hey, we got to fix this. Get this garbage out of the market. Pull up the weeds," right? That is what's going to happen. I've been saying it for a long time. They're going to position this new asset class the same way the stock market is. So let's see what happens along the lines of the other ETF, the NYSE Arca Bitwise ETF. And funny enough, Bitwise exposed a lot of the wash trading that was taking place on certain exchanges in an effort to get their ETF approved by saying, hey, we're not going to pull the data from these exchanges. They do wash trading. We're going to pull from these. And they still got rejected. Well, they shouldn't get rejected. I should say delayed, I believe, as well. They are also not, they don't have the ability to get it approved. But they are making some tweaks. So the headline here, NYSE Arca seeks rule change to list ETF backed by Bitcoin and T-bills. So NYSE Arca has formally applied to the SEC for a rule change that would allow it to list shares in a proposed Bitcoin investment trust. The United States Bitcoin and Treasury Investment Trust, managed by Wilshire Phoenix Funds, would invest exclusively in Bitcoin and short-term U.S. Treasury securities, according to the filing made by the exchange late Monday. So they're trying to tweak things to get approved, but I still think it goes back to the manipulation thing, guys. The SEC is not going to touch it. And if you ever notice, even Crypto Mom, Hester Pierce, and all the other people, the key word they always bring up in those conversations when people ask is manipulation. They know what's going on. They're not stupid. And, before I used to get kind of upset, like, why is the SEC dragging their feet? And then, as I go down the rabbit hole, I see why, man. You see these dumps, these pump and dumps. You see the Bitfinex Tether stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that needs to be cleaned up, and I get why they are delaying it. But I also think the market doesn't necessarily need it. The 2017 bull run didn't need it. Our run up right now doesn't need it, and we see the big players are launching, Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, and so forth. The Bitcoin halving is coming up next year. So at this point, I'm not going to hold my breath, and I'm like, whatever, I'm over the ETF. But if it happens, it'll be great. Another financial instrument and product that will help boost this crypto market. So let's see what happens, guys. Moving ahead here, the IRS. Oh my gosh, we finally hear back from the IRS here on taxes. Now, the headline, the IRS is working on the first tax guidance for cryptocurrency since 2014, 5 years ago. The agency's commissioner told Tom Emmer today. Now, last week we talked about Tom Emmer at Consensus talking about he's looking to push certain bills that would exempt you from tax events. For example, crypto forks, right? If something was to fork, you don't get taxed. And we even know that the Token Taxonomy Act has a rule in place saying that any transactions below $600 would not be a taxable event, which would be great for adoption. So if you buy Bitcoin, or not buy Bitcoin, buy coffee with Bitcoin or something, it wouldn't be a taxable event, at any point. So they responded directly to Tom Emmer in a letter here. And finally, I think we're going to see an updated tax guideline or regulation. This is great because we need more clarity. They got to be more friendly too. I'm hoping they adopt the anything below 600, no taxable event, right? And just have your normal taxes for things beyond that. That will be great. So good update here. I think if more government agencies we got on board providing clarity and regulations, that faster this market can take off and be established, guys. And this is going to be important for the mainstream investors coming in. Now, moving ahead, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse said even the banking Goliaths will have to embrace crypto blockchain innovation. And case in point was JPMorgan. Now, they tried to bypass it but by building their own, but they're gonna have to embrace it. And once again, his point was proven because he said this before. Years now he's been saying it, and we know that a lot of financial institutions and so forth are going to be using Ripple's XRapid protocol, which leverages XRP, the digital asset, of course. So, he gave some context to this and so forth. So let me give you a quote here. I don't think governments will go away, which is true. Banks are applying a very important regulatory framework that I actually think is important for society. I personally believe that banks will continue to serve that role. They're good at it. Think this is a new set of technologies that can benefit from to grow their business. So he's talking about, the adoption of crypto and blockchain and so forth. And some other information he said here, 99% of banks love what we're doing because we're democratizing something that's controlled by a small number of banks, their competitors. So with the XRP and blockchain and so forth, it frees up a lot of capital. It opens up new opportunities, and the smaller banks don't have to feel like they're being pushed out by these larger banks. So there's some opportunities here that Ripple's opening up for those smaller folks. Now, Brad Garlinghouse was also meeting. Man, this continues to blow my mind. Shout out to Neil Duncan here on Twitter who put this together. So Brad Garlinghouse was meeting with the folks on the IMF and central banks. Please tell me why and how Ripple's in that room, the CEO of Ripple, which can still be considered a startup. I mean, I don't see Stellar Lumens there. I don't see Ethereum there. I don't see, Jeb McCaleb. I don't see Vitalik Buterin or any of the other people. It's crazy, guys. And I know they're pushing for the usage of XCurrent, XRapid, and so forth. And big things are ahead, and I mean, the proof is right in front of our face of what's happening here. That Brad Garlinghouse continues to be in the same room and in meetings with the IMF and central banks and banks around the world. It's amazing. And Neil outlines who was in the meeting, like Christine Lagarde, the managing director of the IMF, and more guys from the IMF, and governor of South African Reserve Bank, and governor of Bank of Israel, and governor of the Central Bank of Thailand, president of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Man, there's look, guys, I know there's people out here who hate Ripple, XRP, and so forth, but I'm looking at the facts. I'm not putting my emotions in this, but imagine if this was Vitalik Buterin sitting in the room with these people. The crypto community would be going nuts, right? And there would be so much hype behind it and so forth. But, Brad Garlinghouse is not going to get that same type of hype or whatever it is, but there's a lot of things being built here. So hope you guys see what's coming. And on that note, SCB Bank just confirmed that they will be releasing more information about Ripple transfer, and that let me back up. Someone asked them, SCB transfers via Ripple, and with that we have mainstream adoption in Thailand. So we know SCB, the bank, is partnered with Ripple. Apparently they're going to launch soon, and they said it's going to, the full details will be coming soon. But if we just look at the pieces and the history of the information that was released, Ripple put on their website, Siam Commercial Bank, SCB, pioneers Ripple's multi-hop feature. Many of you may remember what multi-hop is. If you don't, here's a tweet from David Schwartz. Multi-hop allows customers who initiate payments with XVIA to have one pile of fiat, typically with an XCurrent customer, that they can use for payments across RippleNet. Still need to acquire the destination asset to settle a payment though, and that's where XRapid and XRP come in. So the multi-hop feature allows these banks to jump into each different protocol or product, and that includes XRapid, which leverages XRP. We know XCurrent is also integrated with its latest update with XRapid, XRP, guys. And he said here, looking at it from the other side, multi-hop lets customers act as hubs for incoming and outgoing payments to and from regional banks that they have good fiat settlement arrangements with. Others could also use XRapid to pay into and out of the hub's partner banks. So Patience is a key. These things don't happen overnight. These institutions need to start trial and error and testing, make sure everything works, make sure all the regulatory clarity is there. That's why you're seeing most of these rapid adoption items happening overseas. The US hasn't provided clarity as yet. So it's on its way, guys. It's on its way. Patience is the key here. Now, some positive news out of Europe here. The cryptocurrencies pose no threat to financial stability, EU Central Bank. The European Central Bank has said that cryptocurrencies are currently not a threat to financial stability in the Eurozone. I don't think I need to go further, guys. The headline itself speaks, well, it speaks for itself, right? And that's good that we're hearing this, and Europe seems to be very pro-crypto. Finally, beyond KYC, Know Your Customers, regulators set to adopt tough new rules for crypto exchanges. So the Financial Action Task Force, and this is the U.S., is set to finalize new international standards for regulating cryptocurrency firms next month. Those standards are widely expected to subject crypto exchanges, wallet providers, and others to the travel rule long followed by correspondent banks. Industry representatives say this requirement would be, let's see, I'm just trying to make sure I have the right call-outs here. So the Financial Action Task Force recommendations aren't legally binding, but countries that don't follow them get blackballed in the global economy. So this is interesting, and it's what's going to come when we need regulations and the establishment of this new asset class, guys. So expect more of this to come. It's not to kill the market, it's to protect consumers. It is to establish it so and put in guardrails so the big money can feel comfortable to come in. So that's the news, guys. A lot of interesting and big items here. What do you guys think? Let me refresh here and see where we're at with Bitcoin. Price is still around the same here. What do you guys think about this news? Leave your thoughts and comments below. Thumbs up if you like this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Links in the description. Thank you guys for your support. Thank you to my Patreon supporters, and I'll talk to you guys later.